What up, poker people? Welcome to the introductory episode of my Master Ball or Bust series, where I attempt to move up through the ranks of Battle Stadium singles and hit the elusive Master Ball rank. If you're not interested in my personal Pokemon history, you can safely skip this episode and move straight on to episode 2. That'll be out within a couple of days of the first one. To keep updated, make sure to check out the playlist on the top right. I will be picking my team at the end of this episode though, so I'll put timestamps in the description below, just in case you want to see that process. Now with that said, let's get into it. My Pokemon journey started at the tender young age of 6 when the anime began airing on a popular Australian kids block called Cheese TV. As a side note, I met the hosts of that show, Jade and Ryan, in 2016. They're super friendly and hilarious guys. It's nice to think that sometimes, when you meet your childhood heroes, it really does work out. I first found out about the games at Vacation-osh, which is a form of vacation care, that's what they call it in Australia, in November 1998, when a kid brought his Game Boy to school, and I spent the entire day watching him play Pokemon Blue. I was lucky enough that my parents bought me a Game Boy Color for my birthday with Pokemon Red the following year. I still have that Game Boy today. Sadly, the save battery on Pokemon Red died years ago, and my rare candied level 100 Pidgeot is just lost to the ages. Up until Pokemon Black and White, I bought and played every version of Pokemon I could, including the spin-offs, like the amazing Pokemon Puzzle League games. They were some of my favourites. Since then I've been a little more reserved, only picking up one mainline game per generation. Suffice to say, I was obsessed. But I was never particularly good at the combat. I usually just overleveled my Pokemon as much as possible to steamroll through any gym I could find. This strategy very much hasn't changed either. My favourite of the series was Pokemon Sapphire. I spent hundreds of hours in Hoenn, including what most would consider an embarrassing amount of time making Pokeblocks and doing Pokemon contests. With the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield, I became a lot more active in the completionist side of Pokemon. Since November, I've managed to hatch my first ever shiny, a Wooloo, that I nicknamed Woodrow, who took a massive 120 hours of kill chaining and breeding to obtain. And I completed my first ever Pokedex. Sadly, after this I kinda ran out of goals, which is why I decided to make this series my next and most daunting goal to date, to get the Master Ball rank in the Pokemon Online Battle Stadium Singles League. As I said before, I've never been particularly attuned to the competitive side of battling. To this day, I have trouble remembering the weakness charts. Does ground beat flying? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. Good hustle, Josh. So this is a huge undertaking, which has involved learning countless new features that I didn't even know existed. The best way to learn all this was countless hours of reading. And wouldn't you know it, more reading, until I just couldn't take it anymore. After this arduous learning process, it was finally time to choose my team. There aren't a huge amount of team comps that I could find online for the BSS format, and I was nowhere near ready to build my own team from scratch. But I eventually managed to narrow the choice down to 2 teams that contain Pokemon that I really liked. This team, which has a Grimmsnarl, one of the coolest shiny Pokemon for this generation, and this one, which has a majestic Alolan Ninetales and the spookiest Pokemon in the game, Mimikyu. After discussing it with my best friend for a while, I decided there was one clear choice, and that's how the spooky Ice Boys were born. I'd like to thank Big BM from the Smogon BSS forum for building this team. Hopefully I managed to live up to their team's expectations, and I'll throw a link to their post in the description below so they get the proper credit. That pretty much wraps up this introductory episode to Master Ball or Bust. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to follow this crazy challenge that I got myself into. The next episode will be out in a couple of days, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be team building, and it's going to be awesome. Have a good one, and keep it real, guys.